What's up, everybody? Walmart. We're back. We're back, baby, again.
Not a bad fish right there, guys.
Oh, no.
Out here catching Folsom bass right now, dude. Woo, he's a little chunker. I don't know if y'all can hear me. I'm having some audio issues. I'm having a lot of issues lately. Hey guys, what's up? 'Tis I, the host of The Whole Angler, Dave Erkey, Wolf of Walmart, whatever you want to call me. So this is just a quick episode. I'm trying to do this because I'm showing you guys, or at least trying to show you guys, that I'm dedicated to this. Now, I don't have a lack of, or a problem of booking guests. I have no guests this week. It is just me. This is just going to be me. The only reason being is because my schedule is crazy. So I couldn't book anybody this week. I have people on the schedule. This week just didn't work out, which is not a big deal. I just, I didn't have time to pivot. I didn't have time to, get it all ironed out and do everything, so it's just been a real crazy time in my life. I mean, we could sit here and talk about all that kind of stuff, but really, I just want to talk about this show, just a little bit about this show, if you guys are okay with that. First off, let's dump this real quick and pop up an ad. What up, dudes and dudettes? I'm sure you're tired of hearing my voice by now, but you're gonna hear it for a little bit longer because this is a shout out to the sponsor of this show, Kayak City. Kayak City has been taking care of me ever since I started getting into a boat and paddling around in the water trying to catch some fish. And when I tell you it is Kayak City, it is literally like a city of kayaks. They have Bonafide, Eddyline, Feel Free, Hobie, Jackson, Native, New Canoe, Old Town, Wilderness Systems, and so many used kayaks. I stopped trying to count them a long time ago. If you guys are looking for accessories, they have walls and walls and walls of accessories. They have one wall dedicated specifically to Yak Attack, and it is a massive wall. Kayak City is your #1 Yak Attack dealer here in Northern California. If you want to know where it is, stop by at 7812 Auburn Boulevard, Citrus Heights, CA. Roll through, say what up to James, Troy, Eric, Scott. Tell them Dave says what's up and tell them I sent you there. Thanks for listening. Yeah, me again. So also I would like to thank Element. It's LMNT. It's 4 letters. It is an electrolyte beverage. It is delicious. I'm a big salt fan though. Not everybody's a big salt fan. And when I give people Element packs, I always forget to say, don't put it in your 16-ounce bottle of water. It needs to be like 30 ounces or more. For most people, they want more. They don't like the salt aspect of it. Poor Darren Wendell, shout out Darren, who is like the most famous person in California. I'm giving him a hard time. I'll tell you the story in a minute. I gave him some when we were in Tennessee. I was like, yeah, just put it in your water, because I put it in 16 ounces of water. The salt doesn't bother me. I don't think about it. And he goes to chug it and he's like, oh good. I was laughing, but then I felt bad at the same time. So I'm sorry, Darren. Yeah. So anyways, story about Darren, by the way, short, quick one. I'm pulling up to Home Depot to go get, whatever. Cause any project, you're going to do 5 to 10 trips to Home Depot on a regular basis, at least daily. And I'm pulling up to Home Depot to grab some material real quick. And some guy goes, is that the Wolf of Walmart? By the way, this is the first time it's ever happened to me in my own state. People go, is that the Wolf of Walmart? I'm like, what the hell? Like, that's weird at Home Depot. But, I ended up meeting a man named It's Chris Sheffield. Dude, shout out. You're the man. He was super cool. And he was like, oh, Darren. Da, da, da. Oh, man, it was funny. So Darren's super famous out here. Congratulations, Darren. But yeah, it was a really cool conversation. We got to talk about it. I hooked him up with the local tournament circuit. It's Yakabass. I hooked him up with the Yakabass page so he could start communicating with other, kayak anglers, because he's really getting back into it, or getting into kayak fishing. And, I always want to help somebody who's trying to get into something that I love. Like, I'll do whatever I can besides, share my spots. But if you know me well enough, you know that I only fish a couple spots because I'm a sissy when it comes to big water, only because I can't swim very well. I panic when I hit water. I don't know what it is, but I panic. So when big waves come and wakeboard boats come by and all that kind of stuff, like, if I had to use the restroom by the time the boat's gone, like I've definitely done so. It's just one of those things I just can't. It's scary to me. Water is scary. Water is scary to a guy who is doesn't belong in it, just on it. And I got into kayak fishing because I was just trying to get to the other side of like ponds and bodies of water that I would fish from the bank. And I found a whole new love for fishing and kayak fishing. So it's become somewhat of an obsession, also a passion. I don't know if you can relate, but I definitely put a lot of stuff on and in my kayaks and on and in my tackle box. And I just, it's just something that I absolutely adore. Another sponsor of this show, I would like to thank again, talking about kayak series, is Drew from the Kayak Adventure series, Drew Gregory. I'm basically sponsored by Drew Gregory. Not necessarily sponsored by the Kayak Adventure series because I've never fished one, but he allows me to use his StreamYard link. I was on the StreamYard link with the boys from the Catch podcast. Shout out Brad and Matt. I love you guys, and prayers, Matt, for your family right now. They got me into this. They thought that this would be a good idea. I don't necessarily I didn't necessarily agree, but here we are. So, and without a guest, it's kind of weird for me to do this. I don't know how to run a show. If you guys listen to Andrew Hayes from Tackle Talk, he's got a very structured format and he knows how to get a 30-minute show out talking by himself. I ramble, in case you haven't noticed. I just kind of go in one direction and another direction. And speaking of directions, I'd like to talk to here we go. ADD. Ding! I picked a word and now I'm focusing on it. Let's talk about the direction of this show. First off, Dave,
why are you gay?
No. I love that. I put that on there. I feel so smart because I don't know how to add stuff to this. It's always been somebody else has set all this up. Like Brad Hicks, you're the man. He's basically set up this whole show digitally. I don't know how to fix it or change it or do anything. So if something goes wrong, I freak out, but I figured out how to add that to this and I feel so proud of myself. Anyways, so the direction of the show initially, it's still the same format. I am more interested in some of the people in the industry, whether it be media guys or professionals or just guys in general, buddies, people that I get to meet and know. I'm really more interested about their lives. I want to know more about the people that I see. I want to know more about the people that I follow. I want to know more about the people that I surround myself with. I don't know about you guys, but if I wanted to hear how they caught them, there's 5 shows. If I wanted to learn a technique, there's 5 shows. If I wanted to learn tournament strategy, there's 5 shows. I could sit there and talk about fishing and kayaking and big boats all day long. I could. Just like everybody else. That's not really the direction of this show. I always would listen to people's interviews and I would listen to somebody speak and I would hear something personal, like a small smidget of vulnerability, something about their life that I always was like, okay. And then they don't elaborate on that and they kind of just pass over it and go on to the fishing or the technique. That's why I want to do this show. That's why I like doing this show, I should say, because I get to learn more about people than just their fishing. I could go jump in a tournament and fish with a bunch of hammers and just be like, yeah, that dude's a hammer. That dude's a hammer. That dude's a hammer. But what happens when that dude's like a military vet and he's been through active war? What is he going through? Not only on the water, but off the water. I like that guy. I want to see him fishing again. How do I keep in communication with that guy, or what can I do for that guy? How can I learn more about what I can do for that guy? Well, the best thing I could possibly do is ask. So that's what this show is for the people who don't want to ask. I'll ask. I tell everybody, this is a selfish endeavor just because I want to get to know people on a different level. And this is the level that I like to get to know people on. I don't want to know your dirty, dark secrets. If you want to tell them, that's on you. But I want to know where you're coming from, man. I want to know how you were raised. I want to know everything about your life. And that's what this show's about. I I know it's kind of gone up and down, and some shows are more fun, and we do talk about fishing, and some shows are more like in depth and introspective, and like we talk about emotional, spiritual values, things like that. I'm not ashamed or afraid to say that I'm a spiritual person. I'm a believer in Christ. Like it's not a secret. I am not the best representative. If you want a good representative, talk to Rudd, talk to Luis Delgado, talk to these boys, Charlie and them over at Casting Faith Podcast. If you haven't listened to Casting Faith Podcast, take a dive. Those guys are really fun. I really like their show. Also, we could go on other people's show. I could talk about other people's shows for days. I love, other things, but like point being is like, I'm not afraid to have the conversation. I may not be the most educated person and I may not be the best representative. I say the F word. I say the R word. I say all the G word, like whatever you want to say. I say it all. I have not the best mouth. I have not the best life. I am nowhere near the best example of a believer, but I believe, and I'm not ashamed to say it. And there's room for growth for me, which I love. Actually, there's a lot of room for growth for me. I am not the best person. I am not the best person in my life. I am very good at communicating with people until it comes to my wife. You can ask her. Like, I do not mind saying that I am a terrible communicator at home. Like, I can communicate with people all day, but when my wife asks me important questions, I just kind of, I'm not the best husband. I'm not the best dad, man. Like sometimes I get real frustrated. Kids are tough. Life is tough. And I am not the best at accomplishing everything. I do my best. And the cool thing is, if my best isn't good enough, that means I have room for growth. And so that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm in an era of growth. I've been reading a lot more lately in the mornings. I've been doing some stuff for myself. Like you guys have heard, I get up pretty early to do these things. I get up early for work. I just up early and I stay up late. I do what I can. But the idea is growth for me personally. I hope it shows in the show as well as going forward. I've had a lot of dream guests this season, a lot of dream guests. Like if you guys didn't listen last week, I have Ken Duke. He's way more interesting than this episode. By all means, go listen to Ken Duke. His life is crazy, and I love like his point of view and his perspective on things. Like it probably sounded like I was sucking his dick the whole time, but I mean I wasn't. But he's just so interesting to me as a person. He's accomplished so much in his life and he gives himself no credit for it. So go back and take a listen. That was a really fun episode. The episodes that I have coming up, I'm not going to tell you the guests ahead of time, but they are also very interesting, very fun. But at the end of the day, this show isn't about the fishing. So if you're listening for fishing, you're not going to get it here. You might get a little, but you're not really going to get it here. What you're going to get is a man or a woman and their life, where they came from, what they did, and what their life is like now. I really hope I can get my buddy Jerry on here. I will put that out there. I really hope I can get my buddy Jerry on here because that man has an incredible story. I got to witness a lot of it. And if I can get him to show up on this, Jerry, if you're listening, call me. If I can get him on this, it would be another bucket list guest for sure. But not in the way you'd think. So how do you guys feel about this show? This is going to be like a response section. Like I get response. I get plenty of people giving me, whether it's their opinion or great show or I don't know. That's awesome. I want to know if you guys really like this format. Like, is this something that is worth listening to you? Shoot me the comments. You can shoot me comments on the Spotify if you want, on the YouTube if you want. I try and check them. Just DM me, Wolf at Wolf of Walmart or at the Whole Angler Podcast would be better. That way I can kind of, because the Wolf of Walmart account I do a lot of crazy stuff on, and sometimes things get lost in the wash. Just go ahead and DM me on Instagram. I'm totally here for it. I'm just interested to see if this show is actually landing with people or if this is just something that I'm doing just for me. Because initially it was just for me. And what I've found over time is some of the communication that I've had with people, it's actually doing some good. And I really appreciate those comments. I really, um, that's kind of what made it worth it for me. I was just gonna do like a season, get a couple bucket list guys, and just it's a podcast, like it wasn't like in the cards for me, if that makes sense. But the communications that I've had with a couple people and the things that people have heard on here changed it for me. And I appreciate those people. You have no idea how much I appreciate you guys. I wish you guys well. Please, like, if we haven't communicated in a while, reach back out. Like, I just want to know that you're okay. I have reached out to a few people just to make sure, just to check in. I'm that guy. I'm that homie. I will check on you. Like, I will call you. I will annoy the crap out of you. I'm that dude. I'm a talker. So if this show has done something for you, it makes me so happy. But I would really love some communication back from the listeners. I just want to know, like, is this format going to work for you guys? Because I was talking with Ken and a few other people about changing up the format to more of a coffee with friends type thing. Like, we sit there and we get, or coffee with introductions, like kind of like dating. Like, you sit down for a cup of coffee and start talking about talking about yourselves, and I get to listen and ask questions and just find more out about you. But I also want to go back to the origin of what I started on this show, was getting to know people, their journey and their struggle, because that's the most relatable thing to me. I can't relate to winning billions of dollars in fishing. I mean, I don't think anybody can, but I can't relate to winning a bunch of tournaments. I can't relate to catching teeners. I can't relate to, running your boat ashore or something like that, like just ripping your lower unit off or something. I can't relate to any of that. But what I can relate to is how you feel. I can relate to your life experience. I can relate to having kids, not having kids, being young, being old. Like, I can relate to those things. I can relate to the common man's struggle. And that was the point of the show, is that we're all common people. We're all ordinary. Some people have done some extraordinary things, but at the end of the day, we're all human. And that's the thing that I can relate to. And that's what I hope you guys relate to. That was the point of the show, is that we're all the same. So I hope you guys have gotten that from the first few seasons in this season. And if not, let me know, because I need to get back to that more. But also, if you guys like the coffee with friends idea, that can happen too. It's not going to be like the Jerry Seinfeld driving with, comedians or whatever. Like, it's literally going to be like a get to know each other conversation. Without anything else,
Why are you gay?
I'm so proud of myself. I would love to leave you with this positive note.
I'm for face. And no one face. And that's not a base. For a few days. And some born and trees. I got some trees. Go my dada.
I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Sorry the show's short, and sorry it's just me and you had to hear me ramble. But these are the ramblings of a madman.